Hey everyone, this is Schleicher from Gaming Trend, and I'm here to tell you about Railroad Rivals from Forbidden Games. Now, Forbidden Games is a brand new company, and this is their very first game on Kickstarter, but this is not a case of a brand new designer or people who have not done games before. Glenn Drover is the designer of this game, and he has quite a bit of experience with making games. He's done such games as Attack, Empire's Galactic Rebellion, and War Quest. Now, those are all dudes on a map type of game, and this is quite different. It's a train game, it's a tile laying game, and it's a very light game and not a deep, heavy thinking game, which seems very odd. So does it work? Well, let's take a look at the game and find out. So here we have Railroad Rivals set up for a 3-player game. You have all of your city tiles stacked up, and then your stock tiles stacked up. Now, in later rounds, other than your first round, you're going to actually be bidding for turn order. However, the first round, it's determined randomly. So in this situation here, yellow is going to be going first and get 6 points. Green is going to get 8 points and go second, and then blue gets 10 points and goes third. So every player that goes in succession will get an additional 2 points from the previous player. Now, points are what you bid on for turn order, so you don't want to go and bid too many points because you could lose quite a bit of points trying to go first. However, that first position is very powerful, and you really don't want to end up losing because you weren't aggressive enough with the bidding. And you may want to try to get someone else to bid higher without actually paying for yourself with points. So here we have the city tiles and then the stock tiles. The stock tiles look pretty much like the stock that you have. And then the city tiles, as you can see, they show the city in the middle. And then on the corners, they show how many goods they'll get. And then along the outer edges, they show which railroads will connect to that city. So you're going to not only want to pay attention to which city you have, but also what the railroads are on the outside so that you can determine what stocks you'll want to pick up. Now, when you draft tiles after you've bid for turn order, you're going to be able to pick out if you're going to get a city tile first and then a stock tile, or if you want to get a stock tile first and then get a city tile. However, you can't grab 2 city tiles or 2 stock tiles in the same turn. So let's say in this example here, yellow is going first and they are going to go with and get Boston. So Boston is out. Green's turn is going to go and get Buffalo here. So blue is going to be like, you know, I'm going to get Baltimore no matter what. Let me take a look at those stocks that are over there. Taking a look, okay, I have Baltimore that I'm going to get, and the PA Railroad is here. So it would be prudent for blue to go and pick up the PA Railroad, and then after that, yellow and green will determine which stock they want to get, and then finally blue will end up getting Baltimore. So after you've bid for turn order and drafted your tiles, you actually go and place the city tiles to make your own little map here. So Chicago is one of the starting tiles. And if you actually got it, you would place 3 goods on it if you laid it down, because in the corner is the number of goods you'll be placing on it. And then you have the different railroads all around it. So let's take a look at Boston here. They have 3 different railroads, and the only one they can really connect to using this one is NYC. So we'll go ahead and put it down here. And then you show that the connection was made by the yellow player by putting a train right across there. And then you'll want to make sure you see the NYC. After you lay down your tile, you draw 2 goods from the bag here, because there's 2 in the corner of that tile. And we just so happen to grab a yellow cube and a brown cube. So there's going to be a number of different colors in the draw bag that you have. It's the number of colors is always going to be one less than the number of players you have. So in a 3-player game, you're going to have brown and yellow. There are going to be more brown cubes in the game than yellow cubes or any other color cubes. So you'll want to keep that into consideration when you go ahead and draw those. So let's take a look at the green player. And the green player has Buffalo to look at now. So looking at the different railroads, the only one that really works is NYC. And so you could go here or go here. Let's go here for the time being. And then green gets to put down a link right there. And again, we draw 2 goods and put it on the city tile. Then finally blue gets to go, and blue has Baltimore here. And they actually have 2 different options because of the way the different tiles were drawn or laid down. Could use the B&O or use the PA. Notice that if we use a PA, these 2 don't match, but that doesn't matter. All you need to do is match one side with the other. So blue would get the connection right here. Now if this side and this side had both had B&O Railroad on it, then blue would have actually gotten the ability to lay down 2 trains to show connections, but in this case it only is 1. So that's something you'll want to think about as well. This tile laying is not actually drawing out a real map with real locations that's going to look like the United States and where they're all at. You have to kind of think about this abstractly for the game to work for you. So now let's go ahead and get our cubes. And Baltimore gets 2 brown cubes. So now that we've gone ahead and placed our city tiles, we're going to deliver goods. You do this again in turn order, just like before. That's why being first player is very powerful in this game. So let's say that the yellow player wants to travel or take a good and deliver from Boston to Chicago. Okay, that's on the NYC. So the NYC Railroad increases in stock value. And then that was the first goods cube of that color. So he is going to go and get 3 points. So 7, 8, 9, right there, smack dab in the middle of green and blue. And then it's now the green player's turn to go ahead and deliver a good. So he can deliver a good of yellow or brown. He's going to do brown, and again, uses the NYC Railroad. So that goes up 1. And the green player is going to get 3 points as well, because even though we've delivered 2 different cubes already, they're different colors. So he goes 1, 2, 3, and up to 11 right there. Then finally, the blue player goes, and he has brown cubes in his location. So he can go ahead and deliver a cube from here to here. Now, that would mean that he would only get 2 points, but it would mean that the PA stock would go up. And that would be very good for him because he already owns a share of the PA stock. However, let's say that he wanted to see the New York City stock go up again. What he could do is take one of the this yellow cube or this brown cube, and then the brown cube could be delivered either place, or the yellow cube could be delivered to Boston or Chicago. Then he would only get 2 points, which is what he would get anyway, because that's the second good of that color delivered during this round. But then the NYC stock would go up, but then the green player or the yellow player would get an additional 2 points. So blue would go up 2 to 12, and then he could say, okay, I'm going to deliver from Boston to Chicago, and the green and yellow player both end up on 10. So actually, there's a little bit of strategy there too with your scoring, because you're going to see that that's very important later in the game. You got to remember that you want to increase the stock that you have, but you also want to make sure that everyone else is behind you as well, if possible. Also, you want to consider later in the game which railroads you're going to be using, and then which colors you're going to have out there too. If you get rid of all the yellows and there's only browns left, you're going to have a hard time delivering a goods cube that hasn't already been delivered. I have to admit I was a bit skeptical when I had heard that Glenn Drover had designed a lightweight tile-laying train game. Usually when you think of train games, you think of the 18XX series or Brass or Steam. Maybe even something middle of the road like Railways of the World, which Glenn Drover also had a part in designing. However, this is very light, very easy to pick up, but still has enough decisions and depth to keep things interesting. The fact that you aren't just getting cities and railroads, but also getting the stocks will help determine where you want to deliver those goods. Delivering the goods is also a big decision as well. So you have quite a few decisions to make within the game. It's very quick though, very easy to play, and I highly recommend picking it up.